Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Young Sage here for another face-off. This is going to be the two Caterpillar cousins. The CT380 we've had in the game for a while on the left, and the brand new CT381 on the right. Now, yeah, you can see there's family resemblance there, but I have a feeling that the 680 is an older truck. The interiors are nearly identical. I think it's a heavier duty truck. It has a lift axle that the regular one doesn't. We are fitted with the log carriers. Let's start it up and hear what she sounds like. Yes, this thing can actually fit 3 beacons because the lights are unique. They're not unique to this truck only. There are a few other trucks that have this kind of setup, but this allows you to put 3 beacons and leave the stock horns on it. That's kind of epic. Let's get into 680. Start it up and have a look at that. The interior is identical, except the seating position. They sound different. They have different horns, so at least there's that. The 680 has a bigger fuel tank. Yeah, the dashboards are identical. Yeah, virtually identical. It's just a seating position. Oh, and there's no little 681 where there's a 680 little thing on the other truck. The seats are different too. Wait a minute. There's no Caterpillar in the headrest here. There's a place where it should be, but it's not there. Alright, so we will be hauling logs with these trucks. And we'll take them off the bridge jump, and we'll throw them in the mud. We'll do whatever it takes. We'll take the 681 first, since we're already in it. I like the idle sound of this truck. The 2 of the 3 new trucks I've tested. The only thing is, the 681 has slightly better fuel economy. Another thing I noticed, the 681 cannot use the metal detector from a mantra. This one cannot. The other one can, the old one. Fill these up with logs, and we'll get moving as it starts pouring. It's going to use short logs, which is a new load. So let's get this on the road. And we'll take it through Tomcat's testing ring. We'll do the same thing with the other one too. Now, I built these with highway transmissions. And also another detriment. This thing does not have diff lock by default. Plunged straight into the water. It does not like it at all. Where it's getting pulled away by the current. Oh no. And also we do have a smaller snorkel. It's the same type, but we only have one of them, and it's tiny. It is so small. Look how cute it is, though. I'm not gonna go aw, because yeah, we're not gonna yeet this thing up the hill because I don't think it's going to make it. We'll give it a try. And you know what? We're not gonna use the lift axle because the 80 doesn't have it. Oh, it'll make it. Shit. Nope. Maybe with a bit of a run-up, I might make it. Oh, and they both have backup alarms, too. This one's louder than the 80, and I think it's a more normal backup alarm. Okay, the 681 will make it up the hill, but we're dead. There goes all the gas. Well. Get our short logs and let's get moving. See, unlike the 740, well, the dump truck that we hauled logs with before. And how will this fare in the river? Similarly to the 81, it's getting pulled down river. More so. It's actually worse. I can't kick it up or anything. I ain't doing nothing. We're getting carried away by the river. We need to grab a winch here. So river test, the 81 wins. Because we're actually kind of stuck in the river. The 80 is kind of stuck in the river. It's kind of it. We're going to burn the 80. We're going to burn these trucks, the 80 and the 81, for simplicity's sake. We're not going to yeet this thing up the hill. We're going to have to drag the other one down and get it more logs. I don't know if we can. Go like halfway up and then winch to the truck and pull it. Okay, the backup alarm is actually identical. I was not expecting that. I thought this would have a... I thought it had a different backup alarm from when I first heard it. Or I guess you could call it a backup beeper if you want. Yeah, all the Caterpillar vehicles in the game have a backup beeper. They all do. I have to say, I like the 681's engine much more than this one. But those giant snorkels. Not like it needs it, because the water fording is worse. Can we, like, pull it on its roof, pull it on its wheels? This doesn't count, though, because we weren't attempting to get this thing up the hill. Here she comes. Okay. Here she comes. Here she comes. All right, you are coming with me to get new logs. You're not getting away that easy. You're coming with me, brother. From the back, please. You know what? This is going to be our tug test. And the 680 with logs is more than capable of towing the 681 without logs. Let's leave the engine on that truck so it uses fuel. I just saw what it did. You stupid muppet. 681 is trying to be an asshole, isn't it? What are you doing? I need a crane to save that thing. And this time I ain't just gonna be able to roll my brother over. Said the 80. He always has to be an asshole, doesn't he? Okay, I think our best bet's probably going to be to go in the river. And just latch onto the side of this thing and just hope it works. Yeah, that should do. You do have to remember, if you want to pull it, you have to turn the engine on the other truck. Like if you're just going to do it that way. Okay, 681, please behave. You've already caused more grief than you're worth. I'm gonna grab you some more logs and then we're going right back where we were. Both of us. Actually, 681 is gonna do the towing then. That'll be a towing test. Also, another thing. One thing about the 680 I like, this doesn't get the Caterpillar branded fenders on this. Or mud flaps, I guess. Maybe I should let the handbrake on. Might work. Might actually go somewhere. Surprisingly, this thing was not actually damaged. Put back in the 80 so I can just get it turned around. So the 81 can pull it. Okay, yeah, that was completely an unnecessary test to do with objective-based hauling trucks. Okay, in this update, the beacons stay on. When the beacons come on automatically again. Tomcat's gonna hate that when he finds out. He hasn't spoken about it since PTS, so I don't know, maybe it was a late edition that was not in the PTS update. In the International, I'm actually gonna have to test it, see what it's good with. Okay, the 681 I think has more power than the 680. We are taking the bridge because I don't. You know what? It's probably not a safe idea. Let's stick to the rocks over here. It's a good thing that I can just push a button to do it. I don't have to go into the interaction menu. It's holding fourth. Got a power outlet up on top of the dash. I think the 80 has the same thing. Alright, so we're not going to tow the other truck through the mud. That's going to be an individual test. That's not a team test. Ow! Fucker. Get away from me. Alright, into the mud we go. The 81. The 81 seems to be doing fine. It's not really spinning or anything either, so I guess we'll take the mud lanes. We have the 80 to save it if we need to. Alright, first mud lane. Shouldn't be any trouble. Shockingly, it is a bit troubling for it. I'm actually kind of shocked. Yeah, the 681 is just a more tough 680. But honestly, I think the 680 is better. Alright, second mud lane. It did the first one in auto fine. Alright, low gear and dip lock. We're gonna need to winch just get into this thing. I don't think we're gonna go too far. Wait, it's turning, it's turning. Alright, straight on at it. Was eating. Still going at a snail's pace. Now, again, I put a highway box in these trucks, so we don't have the low plus to give us the extra oomph. So we're just dealing with standard low gear. And also then we can more effectively feed off the bridge jump. So I'm guessing short logs are going to be a new cargo. They were in the game already, but like they had no purpose. You couldn't haul them. There was only like maybe a mod or two that might be able to actually properly haul short logs. All right, 681. We're not even gonna go into the pond because I already got a feeling that it's gonna get stuck in there. Oh boy. Are you stuck? Are you stuck now? You stupid idiot. Alright, I guess you die there then. I think the handbrake sounds different. No, they're the same sound. Alright, 680, into the mud it goes. Spinning a lot more than the 81 was. Let's get the 81 out of the mud before we head down the first mud lane. Fine with that. Alright. Down the first mud lane you go, 680. How will you fare? In high it will just spin. I was just out of curiosity. And in auto it won't even go. That's a point for the 681. So the 681 beat the river test. Wait, it's moving, it's moving. I don't think it matters though, because the 81 went through this with no trouble. It didn't even sweat on the first run. We're not even gonna go down the second one because the second one's gonna give it trouble if the first one is. Let's reset the time back to the beginning of morning. Yeah, so this failed the mud test. 681's looking like a good replacement. I mean, the snorkels are an obvious omission, but again, similar to how the Brigadier was in the last video. It didn't need the big fancy snorkel. It still did a great job, and it defeated the white. Now let's go. We're gonna go through the angled blocks, and then we're gonna go through the dips. This is about as close as we have on the summer testing grounds to the winter testing grounds bridges. Oh no. Well, you know I'm sick of going back and forth, and we're wasting a lot of time here, so you know what? Dump the logs because... Oh, wait. I wonder if this is able to turn it, can we repack the logs? We've incurred enough front damage to actually damage the caterpillar badge. Well, I think the logs are still on board. They are still on board. Can we pack them? Yep, we're fine. Test is not over. We continue. These are bigger trucks than the two we tested last time. And the 81 hates this. You know what? I'm just out of curiosity. Will the drop axle do anything? It helps it. It's actually helping. In case you guys are not familiar, a drop axle is a non-powered axle that is only there to help stabilize loads. The drop axle actually helped it, but if the 80 can do it without even having a drop axle to help it, the 81 will lose a point there. Alright, we're going straight to the dips just cause. And we have to hit these straight on with quite a bit of speed. Oh! Drop axle's getting hung up. We're going to have to lower the drop axle because it's getting hung up on the drop axle. Are we actually doing this game? I think we're doing this. Will we even back up? Yeah, we can. Okay, the wheelbase might be slightly too long because there's not enough tires. Yeah, I think the wheelbase is too long. So the 81 fails the dips. Because it can't even make the first dip. Okay, interesting. You failed. Stand back, let your brother do this one. So that's the first thing the 81 didn't do. What about the 80? It hates this just as much as the 81. So the 81 is actually going to win because it has that drop axle to help it. So that's 3-0. That actually took fuel tank damage from one of these blocks. Oh, we're actually stuck on the fuel tank. We were for a minute. Yeah, so that loses a point. But can it get a point in the dips? It has a slightly shorter wheelbase than its brother, so maybe it can. Oh, it's struggling even more. Yeah, it's struggling even more. It's completely high-centered. The 81 actually wins the dips. Look what it's done. The 80 just has that bad wheelbase that won't get through. All right then, so bridge dump, final test. Tomcat, please don't kill me for stealing your testing run, but it's the most logical. I know he won't do this, so it doesn't hurt for us to try. We're not going to take that mud trail because I already know these won't make it. If they didn't make it through the mud puddles, I should have turned on the 681 as soon as we got moving. We're going to send the 680 first. Okay, so point for the bridge jump. I'm actually going to make this a thing. The vehicle that flies further on the bridge jump and takes less damage wins. So right now we have a little bit of damage on the 80. Right now the 80 is battling for its, well, it's gonna lose. Because it can't get enough points to be able to even catch up to its brother. Okay, but I guess it, okay, I'll give it a point for, like, not killing itself. And actually, I'm going to make the CT381 lose a point. So 3-1. Alright, so detach that guy. Right, up the hill we go to the bridge jump with the CT380. I have never taken the bridge jump in this thing before, so I don't know what to expect. Alright. Here we go. High. Here we go! Holy shit! Okay, it dropped its load. Yeah, it's not salvageable, so... The truck will restart, but we have completely busted suspension. Let's back out of the way so its brother can have the landing zone to itself. And yeah, the logs stay there. That's an obstacle. You know what? We'll leave the one log on there. That's actually going to be another thing. If the 681 drops more logs, it loses. It has to survive with 2 logs on the back. Alright, 681. What are you going to do in the bridge jump? You've already proven to be better than your brother at everything. So, yeah, I don't even own the 681 anymore. I sold it because it was mediocre. Alright, here we go. It's faster, it's harder to control. Woo-hoo! It took more damage. And it survived with no logs. This thing did not survive at all. It popped a tire. And it lost its whole load. There goes the last log. You know, if we didn't move the 680, it would have smashed right into it. Well, that's a point for the 681 because the 81 that's a point for the 80 because the 81 basically died on the bridge jump. Again, it was doing like double the speed. All right, so 4-2. I guess 4-1 because technically, if I don't count that weird point that I gave out, this is a 4-1 blowout for the 81. The only thing it failed was the bridge jump. It went further on the dips. It went further in the mud. You know what? I'll be fair. I'll be fair to this. I'm going to repair the 680, and we'll see if it'll go through the second mud hole. If it doesn't, the 681 deserves that point. Let's go get more logs, and then we're going to go back to that mud pit. It's really fast. Do we have a repair point here? I don't know if we do. Yeah, there is. It's over there. I'm about to say, because I can repair this thing without going into the garage, that would probably be a godsend. Alright, we're fixed. You don't even have to activate it, you just drive onto it. You know, I thought this would be a medium log carrier. No, this gives us the ability to actually use the short logs. Which were in the game, but they had no use. Oh my. You know, I'm not worried about it. That's never going to affect how it drives. As long as you're not in the red, the damage is not really going to affect you. Hello, brother. Goodbye, brother. It said. Snarkily. The 680 survived the bridge jump. I'm actually kind of surprised. With only suspension damage, which the 681 got as well, but but to boot, it blew a tire and it flew straight into the trees. This thing didn't quite hit the trees. It nose dove right into the ground. Yeah, the 680 is no longer my career playthrough, and it won't be. Because the 81 is better in every way. Except for the fact that it doesn't have the big snorkel. And it doesn't have the double. Well, I don't think double snorkels actually matter. Do they? I guess something else we could technically find out. By going to a deep river crossing and submerging the left side of each truck. Alright, second mud lane. We'll start in automatic, then we'll drop it in the low with dip lock. And we are going to go through a little bit of rock crawling just for fun. And you know what? It'll do it. That's not a bonus point because the 81 can't even attempt it. It's dead on side of road. Alright, second mud lane. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go to the back and we're going to dive in. Okay, respectable, respectable. It's moving. Now, if it gets to the same point as the 681, I'll give a point to both. But it's struggling that first mud lane mightily. It's moving. Now the winner will be if this thing can get out of the mud. Because the 81 got stuck on the berm. I think we're gonna have the exact same issue. So I'm still gonna give it to the 81, I think. Because the 80 struggled in the first mud lane. You guys saw that. Oh, I know it's what happens. If you had your blinker on and you turn off the truck, it remembers it. So I remember how annoying that was in the last update. How, like in past updates, how the blinkers would turn back off after you were done. Like after you turned the truck back on. Well, the 681 got to the same point. And then it died. The 80 struggled in the first mud lane, but it did the second one better. So I'll say it's about even then. Because it went further before it needed low gear and diff lock. So I'll give a point to each. Regardless, the Caterpillar CT381 defeats its little brother by a score of 5-3. So the verdict, the free truck is better than the one you had to pay in-game money for. Who would have thunk? That never usually happens. Usually the DLC trucks are worse than the ones that are already in the game. Or like the ones that are DLC. Not the ones that are included in DLCs, the ones that are actually truck DLC. You guys know how bad the Apache is. I mean, the Con can be good if you tune it right, but with max engine and everything, it's just uncontrollable. So guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this test. Which one would you take home? I know I took that from Tomcat again. Okay, which one would you guys drive to the job site? I know I'm going to stick with the 81, even though I like the 80. Just the default truck horde ain't going to do it for me. And wait, the 80's on its wheels. When did this happen? And it drives. It actually survived it. So, it was not found left dead on side of road. Well, I mean, regardless, still the same. Because it took more damage on the bridge jump. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.